For much more on JJ Spaun's win, as promised, let's bring Bob Weeks and Mark Zecchino into the conversation now. And Mark, talk about a roller coaster final round by JJ Spaun. To start with bogeys on five of his first six holes, the 40 on the front nine, but to come home in 32, he really stole this tournament away from a very crowded leaderboard, didn't he?
He did, and for me, it was intestinal fortitude, right? It was emotional and mental strength of just being able to hang in there. We saw some of the best players in the world this week kind of mentally give up and get frustrated and not want to be at Oakmont. And even after all those horrible breaks, gents, especially the one off the flag, after the weather delay, he was still prepared to gut it out and hang in there and wait for good things to happen. If I can just kind of buckle in and stay a part of this thing. And in my opinion, Bob, he's just stronger than everybody else this week.
And that's kind of his whole story. When you look back and see where he's come from as a professional golfer, and you see what he's done. He first played on PGA Tour Canada and I think he lost his card. He had to go back to qualifying for that the first time around. Ends up a few years later, getting through to the Corn Ferry Tour, and those are the kind of things that have sort of steeled his game, his desire, his confidence level, I think, and perhaps that losing in that playoff at the Players Championship also pushed him a little bit forward, saying, "Okay, your game is good enough now. It's not just winning tournaments; it's winning big tournaments." And I think you hit it right on the head by just saying, what he performed on that back nine will go down as one of the really, really solid performances by anybody in the conditions that were absolutely horrible. And a lot of people I know got bad breaks. But you live with the bad breaks and you play with them, and that's what he did, and that's why he's the champion.
And we're forever going to take a look back at that 64-foot putt to win the US Open when he only needed two putts to win. But Bob, that tee shot on the par 4 17th, the drivable par 4, that was one of the greatest shots we've seen on a drivable par 4 in major championship history. I'm thinking back to Colin Morikawa at 2020 at the PGA Championship, but that tee shot really got him out in front, didn't it?
It did. That tee shot. I mean, the birdie on 12, the birdie putt on 12 to get that one done, and then the 17th hole that to birdie the last two holes, and on both those great tee shots. The great one on 17, of course, is amazing, and then on 18 to put that ball in the fairway when a lot of other guys were struggling to keep it on the short grass was also key. Not as exciting as the 64-foot putt, but Mark, I think that some of the small things that he did over the course of that last nine holes really stand out.
Yeah, and I think the identity of the US Open, even though I think Oakmont is not my favorite US Open golf course, I respect it immensely, Bob. But thank God for that 17th hole because that to me is really the only hole that creates the volatility and the drama near the end that we expect from major championships. Although I do respect the setup and the golf course immensely. But to your point, Bob, it was the little things, wasn't it? It was the tiny things, Adam. Like we all sat there and we all watched that 72nd hole, and we literally had a US Open in many ways come down to can this person hit a fairway? Little thing like putting a ball in a fairway. And I can't really recall the last time I have had that feeling about a major championship of any kind.
Yeah, 100%. And for JJ Spaun, Bobby mentioned losing in a playoff to Rory McIlroy at the Players Championship. Hard to believe that prior to last week at the US Open, the longest putt he made all season on the PGA Tour was just under 35 feet. 12th hole makes a 44-footer for birdie. Then, of course, the 18th hole, the 64-foot historic putt to forever be remembered as a U.S. Open champion. What a performance by J.J. Spaun. And guys, before we go to break, Mark J.J. Spaun now third in the U.S. Ryder Cup team standings. Is he on this team or what?
I mean, we've got a very short window, guys, between now and September, now in August when the qualifying closes. So he would have to basically do nothing the rest of the summer and have Americans behind him win all the big events coming up for there to be some type of mathematical chance for him to not be there at this point. I mean, his timing on this is pretty good if he wants to play Ryder Cup.
What do you think,
The
Bob?
only way he doesn't make the American team is if he goes and takes up British citizenship.
Oh, a life-changing performance by JJ Spaun. Get this, he started the year at 115th in the official world golf ranking. Now, after winning the US Open, JJ Spaun is 8th in the world. So a great performance by JJ Spaun.